Statements made during this broadcast regarding products or the claims made about specific products have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation for when you don't. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. I say that 5 days a week, every time, and I mean it. Glad you were able to find your way to the show. We'll try to make it worth your time and while that you did. And today, Dr. Christopher Moore will be along. I know Dr. Moore pretty well, and he's very good at what he does. Knows his stuff, always offers some insight. He does very well. He's got a great career going for himself, and he's a pretty smart guy. Went to University of Pittsburgh, where I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, and up in Oakland. That's where he went to school at the University of Pittsburgh, and got his PhD in exercise physiology, I believe. As a nutritionist, is also a registered dietitian, so he brings a nice perspective to things. There are some stories trending today. I guess I could ask you the question, do you take a nap? And do you take a nap when close to when, this is especially pertinent to people who are in school, people who are writing, studying for exams, doing some sort of cerebral work, if you will. Turns out that taking a nap, you'll see, is very helpful when you're doing that kind of work. I'll explain. And then, of course, in our society, as in any society, at any time, and history is replete with discrimination of one sort or another. In our own country, we certainly have an unfortunate and unpleasant history with discrimination in different forms, as in any culture, any society. But there's a type of discrimination you might be surprised to find exists, and that is weight discrimination. Turns out, at least according to this study, that weight discrimination has some pretty severe consequences for those that are discriminated against because of their weight. And I'll explain that too. And then the headline on another story is, I'm sure that there are more than a few people listening or watching the show today that have to wear glasses. Well, the end is in sight for reading glasses, no pun intended, in sight. This might be revolutionary. We'll see. It would be, people do all sorts of things to try and not have to wear glasses, everything from laser surgery to contact lenses to whatever. And you can always call the show. You're invited. The show is about the audience, about the listener and the viewer, always. First, foremost, and primary in my mind in producing and hosting this show. So call anytime you want, 877-897-8255, 877-897-TALK. Florida State University, I am familiar with that university, went there, taught there, received my PhD, was awarded my PhD from Florida State University. And they're doing some research in the arena. They're doing a lot of different lines of research, but this area of weight, obesity, and whatnot, and the study focuses on weight discrimination. They mentioned that in the recent past, in recent years, Florida State University College of Medicine has some researchers there. One is Dr. Angelina Sutton, and another one is Dr. Antonio Terraccioni. And they have discovered in their research that people who experience weight discrimination, first and foremost, are most likely to remain obese. Wow. Also, to develop chronic health problems and to have a lower life satisfaction, or have a lower satisfaction with life. Apparently, these two researchers, this is their line of research, at least one of them, and that's what typically happens with researchers. They will develop a line and continue to publish studies in that line, one building upon another more often than not. Well, contributing to their line of research regarding weight discrimination, they now have found that weight discrimination is correlated or otherwise linked to increased risk of mortality. Wow, that's stunning. And that people that are subjected to weight discrimination, this is a very real outcome according to their data, that they have a greater risk of dying. Not because they're overweight or obese, but because of the apparent effects of the discrimination. Now, some might find that difficult to believe. I mean, the data are what the data are. Assuming that it's a well-done study and the data are not junk data because of a junk study, then, you have to take a look at the data and say, okay, do we have any explanation for that correlation? The study is apparently was reviewed by other investigators because it's published in the Journal of Psychological Science. When you publish an article in a journal, you have the editor, and then you have the editor's reviewers. When I published articles in journals, you have no less than I can only speak from my experience, 3, plus the editor, plus usually 3 reviewers. So they've taken a look at this, but that sometimes, as you hear me say, some of these studies that I report on are not all that to begin with. But in this instance, they seems to be a pretty good study. Dr. Sutton and Dr. Sutton's colleagues, looked at data involving more than 18,000 people from separate longitudinal studies, comparing those who reported experiencing weight discrimination with those who did not have such an experience. Accounting for other factors that could explain the greater risk for mortality, Dr. Sutton and her colleagues found that when people reported, this was self-report, when they reported that they experienced weight discrimination, they then found a correlation with those people of that's pretty strong. In other words, they had a 6 in 10 chance of dying over the following period, the follow-up period that the researchers conducted. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. They had a greater than 6 in 10 chance of dying during the follow-up period and during the study. I mean, we know that discrimination has all kinds of effects on people. Their self-image, their view on life, it can affect them psychologically in terms of anxiety, depression. I mean, all sorts of effects of discrimination. That's been well studied. This is kind of remarkable. In other words, because you're overweight or obese and people discriminate against you in various ways, you have a greater likelihood of dying, not because of being obese, but because of the discrimination itself. That's pretty stunning to me. Come back, we'll talk some more.
At Canavest, we believe that the future of hemp is unlimited, and through innovative and responsible application and science, we will enhance the prosperity and well-being of our customers, employees, and communities. As pioneers, our long-term goal at Canavest is to locate hemp seed processing mills near to our future family of hemp farmers. These local factories will convert hemp seed into nutritious oil, protein powders, bread flour, and hemp meal. Canavest supports local efforts and believes that sustainability starts locally. Canavest was named one of the Nutritional Outlook's Best of 2014, and we are committed to pioneering the hemp revolution as the world's leading producer of quality hemp-derived CBD products. Resistance to change is in great part the result of trying to do today's job with yesterday's tools and with yesterday's concepts. The hemp revolution is here, and it's up to all of us to change perception and to impact policy. Will you join us in this movement? Learn more about the education and science behind Canavest at canavest.com.
Exclusively from Natural Factors.
I'm Dr. Michael Murray. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to talk with you about PGX, a truly revolutionary natural product that works perfectly to help get at the core issues that make weight loss so difficult. PGX is a clinically proven way to help people to achieve their ideal body weight that is safe and natural. PGX leads to a dramatic reduction in the glycemic index of any food or meal. It also ultimately causes the release of compounds that achieve two important goals in weight loss. One, telling your brain that you're satisfied so you eat less, and two, improving the action of the hormone insulin. If you've ever tried to lose weight and failed, it's not your fault. You just need the tremendous support that PGX can provide. For more information on making your weight loss dream a near effortless reality, please go to pgx.com.
Feeling tired after your meal? Occasional gas, bloating, or indigestion at inopportune times? You may have an enzyme deficiency. Did you know that many common digestive discomforts can be caused by poor digestion? When food isn't completely digested, it begins to ferment in the digestive tract, which may cause uncomfortable symptoms. Digest Gold, America's #1 selling enzyme product, offers unparalleled support for your digestive needs. It contains exclusive blends of enzymes optimized to be 3 times stronger and work more than 6 times faster than other leading digestive supplements. With just 1 capsule per meal, Digest Gold offers support to break down carbohydrates, fats, fiber, and protein. Enzymatica products are all natural, vegetarian, contain absolutely no fillers, and are vegan and kosher when possible. You'll find Digest Gold and other Enzymatica products at fine health food stores near you. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When you're passionate about your health, that passion leads to the knowledge that exercise and a healthy diet are not always enough. Sometimes you need the extra nutritional boost that only supplements can provide. If you are looking for the leading national brands of vitamins, supplements, health and beauty, weight loss, or sports nutrition products, look no further than Vitamin Discount Center. Voted best independent chain by Vitamin Retailer Magazine, Vitamin Discount Center has been a trusted and valuable nutrition resource to the Tampa Bay area for over 15 years. With daily savings up to 50%, Vitamin Discount Center offers the best prices on the highest quality nutritional supplements. Not only will you find unbeatable value, your visit includes access to a staff educated on the application of products to help equip you with the products and information you need to proactively improve your health. To locate the store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com, as well as access to articles on popular health topics, promotions, events, and thousands of products to shop from right at home. Your search for an affordable solution to better health is finally over. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by A. Vogel, Europe's leading brand of herbal medicine. Canavest, from seed to shelf. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. Now introducing Zinnia for healthy hair, skin, and nails. Nature's Dynamics, garden to gummy supplements made by Dad. Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless. NeoCell, the true science of collagen. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Well, we certainly know, and there's no ambiguity about this, that being overweight or obese has severe health consequences, especially if the person is overweight or especially obese and then morbidly obese in a chronic sense, meaning for a long period of time. And but what's interesting also, though, that being overweight or obese brings with it other kinds of social and sociological events, one of which, in terms of the social dimension, is that people who are overweight or obese can and are discriminated against because of their weight. This happens in all kinds of ways, in terms of job evaluation, the performance on how it's evaluated, in terms of whether or not a person even gets hired, in terms of the kinds of attributions that people make about someone being overweight or obese, attributing things to them that are not necessarily true. In other words, it's their fault, they have no willpower, and so it goes on and on. But what's really remarkable is that we do know, too, that the effects of the discrimination, whether it's due to somebody's weight or their skin color or their ethnicity, has a profound effect on a person's life. And you can just figure out for yourself. I mean, it doesn't take much of an imagination to know how or in what ways that would happen. There's a lot of research to support this. This particular study coming out of Florida State is kind of interesting in that it's now drawing a correlation between weight discrimination and increased risk of mortality, for heaven's sake, to the extent that the people who were discriminated against because of their weight had a greater than 6 in 10 chance of dying during the follow-up period of the study. And one of the researchers, Dr. Sutton, said, what we found is that this isn't a case of people with higher body mass index being at an increased risk of mortality, and they happen to also report being subjected to weight discrimination, she said. Independent of what their BMI actually is, weight discrimination is associated with increased risk of mortality, close quote. These data came from 2 long-term ongoing studies. These are well-known and regarded studies. One is called the Health and Retirement Study, began in 1992. The other at the University of Michigan, with support from the National Institute on Aging, and it involved more than 13,000 men and women with an average age of 68 for the time period Dr. Sutton and Dr. Terraciacone examined the data. Then there's another study called Midlife in the United States, the MIDAS study. That began in 1995, and that's supported by the MacArthur Foundation Research Network on Successful Midlife Development, with support from the NIA, National Institute on Aging. So these data, that involve 5,000 men and women with an average age of 48. These data these are very good data. They're longitudinal. It's not a snapshot. It's more of a videotape. And that's what's nice about longitudinal studies. You can watch and see a pattern develop or not. And the results were consistent with both groups from these different studies. So again, adding credence to this, some people may find this a bit of a stretch. Say, what are you talking about? How could that be? I'm obese and I'm discriminated against. And believe me, we see this in school, which among children. And it can be very devastating to a child. They're made fun of, they're ridiculed, they're picked on, whatnot. That's discrimination. That's all happening because of their weight, not because of who they are. And there are various scenarios in which this discrimination plays out. You get the point. So this is yet another unintended consequence of the obesity epidemic. It has both physiological and now psycho-emotional consequences for people. 877-897-8255. Now, and a story that was trending caught my eye because it deals with the issue of sleep, something that a lifestyle behavior and dimension that I talk a lot about on this show because I think it's critical to good health. We talk a lot about it in the business, in the world of research, and this and that. And everybody knows that you need to get sleep, but I still think it's highly underrated. In my opinion, it's in the top 3 things that contribute to health or undermine it. Nevertheless, this study comes from the University of Geneva, and it was published in eLife, a journal. And to sort of set this up, we know that when people do things and you reward them for doing whatever that thing is, that tends to reinforce the behavior. And we this is part of learning behavior, learning theory. It's well studied in psychology. And so you're always trying to reinforce good behavior and dissuade people from engaging in bad behavior. So you reinforce good behavior. We do this as parents, we do it as teachers, employers, whatever. Well, there's an intervening variable here. And the intervening variable is sleep. When we come back, I'll explain to you what they did in this study and how sleep helped to reinforce the reward and the behavior. And it boosted learning. Quite interesting. Be right back.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Looking for the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering, you're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Garden of Life, empowering extraordinary health. Country Life, a leader and authority in natural health and nutrition. Enzymedica, the enzyme experts. Natural Factors, where great health begins. Now Foods, our products work. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching and whatever you may be doing. 877-897-8255. I give that number out because I'd like you to use it. Please call. Don't hesitate. If you have a question, comment, something you'd like to share, I don't care if it's about the man in the moon. If it's important to you, I want to hear about it. So when I was in grade school, going to St. Walburga's in Pittsburgh, and the nuns were our teachers, these women were so smart. One of the things they would do is that we would, of course, be in class, and they'd be teaching us about whatever the topic was, the subject, math, history, English, whatever. And then what they would do, oftentimes, and I remember this so clearly, they would offer a reward. They would reward the class or the students as a group and individually for a good performance, doing a particular reading drill or whatever. Then at some point, they would have us, we were youngsters, first, second, third grade, fourth grade, perhaps even that far. They would have us take a nap right there at the desk. Just put your head down for a few minutes or so, and just to take a little nap. As a child, you just did what the nuns said, what the teacher said. But they were smart. I don't know if they realized what they were doing. But lo, these many years later, I come across a study that made me think of that this morning, and thinking they were brilliant, and then maybe they didn't realize what they were doing. They probably had us take a nap because, they felt that we were young, you were youngsters, and we needed, just that little nap. It helps. Usually it happened in the afternoon. Well, this new study coming out of the University of Geneva suggests that receiving rewards as a person learns, which the nuns did, will cement, if you will, reinforce the new information and the skills that they're trying to teach you into your memory banks. But guess what? That is especially true when it's followed by a nap. And I thought of that when I read this morning. I said, that's exactly what those nuns did. And doctor, and I'm going to probably butcher this doctor's name, so I apologize. Dr. Kinga Iglowi from the University of Geneva said, quote, rewards may act as a kind of tag, sealing information in the brain during learning. Okay. Then Dr. Igoli went on to say, during sleep, that information is favorably consolidated over information associated with a low reward and is transferred to areas of the brain associated with long-term memory, close quote. She went on to say, our findings are relevant for understanding the devastating effects that lack of sleep can have on achievement, close quote. I have spent, I can't tell you how many years, how many hours of my life studying, even now, even today. And one of my routines is to have a study session where I'm actually studying, learning new material, memorizing whatever I'm doing. And then, you sort of, you reward yourself in some form or fashion. And then I'll take a nap, a brief nap. I've been doing that for years. Sometimes the reward isn't intervened, it isn't there. I'll just take a nap. What I have found, now I realize that really is a good strategy because it helps to reinforce the learning and to help you remember. In this study, what they found was There were 31 volunteers, and they were randomly assigned to either a sleep group or a wake group, and the sensitivity of both groups to reward was assessed as being equal. The participants' brains were scanned while they were trained to remember pairs of pictures. Okay? Got that? There were 8 series of photos that they were shown, and the volunteers were told that remembering pairs in 4 of them would elicit a higher reward. So there was some incentive for them to learn these photos and to get the reward. Then following a 90-minute break of either sleep or rest, they were tested on their memory for the pairs and asked to rate how confident they were about giving a correct answer. They were also given a surprise test 3 months later. They didn't know it was going to happen. Both groups' performance, they said, was better for highly rewarded picture pairs. In other words, when they were rewarded, they did well. But the group that got the reward, in addition to being able to take a nap and get some rest, did far better immediately, right during the study, and then 3 months later, they remembered better. That's incredible to me. In other words, the effect of the sleep, the nap, to reinforce the memory and the learning was not only statistically significant, but practically, in a practical sense, very relevant. The people who slept were also more confident, they said, of achieving a correct answer during the memory test, even after 3 months. So the nuns were pretty smart, and they often did that. Sometimes the reward, they wouldn't have a reward. You'd have some sort of drill, a speech drill, reading drill, whatever it was, whatever they were, math. And then, we were just kids, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, whatever. And then in the afternoon, when they would do that particular learning session, they would have us take a little nap. Not long. Right there on the desk, you'd put your head down, nice and quiet. They were probably doing it just, I guess, to make sure we got some rest. I don't know, but little did they know that it was reinforcing the learning. That's something I've done my whole life. I still do it today. And I'm still taking courses. I'm taking courses all the time, constantly. People ask me why I put myself through this torture. I said, because you got to keep moving. You got to keep learning. Right? 877-897-8255. And I got more degrees than I have sense. And I still don't. It's not about the degrees. It's about the achievement. It's about the learning. And so I'm always looking for ways to enhance the learning. In spite of what's going on in your life, right? All the stuff that goes on. 877-897-8255. You know what I'm talking about. 877-897-8255. I find learning to be very motivating, very rewarding. For me, the learning itself is a reward. That's just me.
Are you suffering from those awful allergies? Hay fever, sneezing, watery eyes. Here's some advice you won't want to miss.
I'm a doctor, and my patients used to dread allergy season. But then I discovered A. Vogel Allergy Relief, a unique combination of natural ingredients that usually addresses every one of my patients' symptoms. And while it's clear that the vast majority of my patients benefit significantly from A. Vogel Allergy Relief, what's even more amazing is that after using it, at least half of my patients' symptoms didn't return. As a doctor, that's the kind of outcome my patients and I can appreciate.
Get doctor-recommended A. Vogel Allergy Relief for your allergy symptoms. It's proven safe, it doesn't make you drowsy, it's fast-acting, and it may even help prevent your allergies from returning. Available at vitamin discount centers, Richards, Rollin' Oats, Vitamin Shop, Nutrition Smart, and other fine health food stores.
Hi, I'm Jordan Rubin, founder and CEO of Garden of Life. Oceans 3 was created with a simple premise in mind. Develop a line of premium omega-3 fish oil formulations that met or exceeded the market leader in quality. And then go beyond omega-3 by providing amplified benefits and value to the consumer. Oceans 3 contains ultra-pure, high-potency fish oil, along with astaxanthin and fucoxanthin. Each of these ingredients, when taken individually, have superb benefits. When they are combined into the exciting compound omega-xanthin, they work synergistically to amplify their already amazing benefits. In addition to the synergy of omega-xanthin, Oceans 3 offers unrivaled purity and greater value than the leading omega-3 fish oils available today, making the Oceans 3 family of products the best choice for anyone looking to add a healthy dose of omega-3 fats and a giant dose of extraordinary health to their lives.
Is your fish oil wildly pure? New Chapter is proud to offer a whole food approach to fish oil, Whole Mega. Naturally pure 100% wild-caught salmon comes from the pristine waters of Alaska. Like extra virgin olive oil, the fresh-caught salmon for Whole Mega is pressed immediately after harvest. And that's all that's needed to deliver wild Alaskan salmon's whole complement of vital omega fatty acids. These omegas support your heart health. One serving of Whole Mega per day, 2 grams, has been clinically shown to help retain healthy triglyceride levels and to improve the omega-3 index, a studied marker of heart health. And did you know experts recommend consuming 2 to 3 servings of fish per week? So 1 week of Whole Mega delivers the omegas of 3 servings of wild Alaskan salmon. Discover the New Chapter difference, wildly pure Whole Mega. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Available at your local Fine Health food store.
Are you tired of taking vitamin pills or powders? How about gummy vitamins with high fructose, corn syrup, or coloring? Finally, you have a choice with Nature's Dynamic whole food gummy supplements and probiotics made by a dad. Imagine getting benefits of your garden in a delicious gummy supplement. Nature's Dynamics utilizes organic, plant-based vitamin and mineral sources with non-GMO, gluten, soy, and dairy-free ingredients in a delicious gummy for the whole family. Nature's Dynamics has berry garden gummies made by a dad, multivitamin, omega-3 and probiotics for kids, body boost joint relief, whole food bone and calcium gummy, whole food immune and vitamin C gummy, whole food omega-3 gummy, Be Beautiful hair, skin, and nails gummy, prenatal plus gummy, whole food probiotics for digestive support, and body boost energy and wellness multivitamin for him and her in a delicious, easy to digest gummy. To learn more about Nature's Dynamics or to find a retailer near you, visit naturesdynamics.com or madebyadad.com. Nature's Dynamics, garden to gummy supplements made by a dad.
The ever-increasing stress and toxicity we are exposed to from our environment, diets, and lifestyles make internal cleansing a necessary part of a good health regimen. Founded in 1980, Yerba Prima was the first company to launch a whole-body internal cleansing kit. Since that time, they have continued to develop and manufacture a complete range of all-natural, high-quality fiber and internal cleansing products. By using all-natural psyllium fiber and no harmful stimulant laxatives, all Yerba Prima fiber and internal cleansing products can be used over a long period of time to ensure optimal health and regularity. With nearly 30 years dedicated to all-natural cleansing products, it's easy to see why Yerba Prima is a leader in the fiber and cleansing products category. Learn more at yerbaprima.com, YERBAPRIMA.com, or visit your local health retailer. Yerba Prima, pioneer in internal cleansing products.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Nordic Naturals, pure and great tasting omega oils. North American Urban Spice, the only oregano oil you can take on a daily basis. Renew Life, the digestive care company. Nutrix Hawaii, more nutrition, better health, purely Hawaiian. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
As we age, there are things that we want to keep, but we lose. And there are things that we want to lose, but we keep, right? We like to lose the weight, but we end up keeping it as we age. And then there are things that we like to keep, like our eyesight and our ability, our good vision, but we tend to lose it. With respect to our eyes, one of the reasons why we begin to lose our ability to see clearly and with good acuity is because the lenses tend to lose their flexibility and elasticity. This is a condition known, if you want the technical name, presbyopia, which is common in people over 45 years of age. And we can require what they call optical aids, your reading glasses. A Devish Mistry, a postgraduate research student in the School of Physics and Astronomy at the University of Leeds, is working with liquid crystal to create an adjustable artificial lens. If this turns out, this will change the whole landscape of what people will do to be able to see better. It could get, the headline on the story is, the end is in sight for reading glasses. And it literally could mean that. And this postgraduate student, Devish Mistry, said, as we get older, the lens in our eye stiffens. When the muscles in the eye contract, they can no longer shape the lens to bring close objects into focus. And he went on to say that using liquid crystals, which we probably know better as the material used in the screens of TVs and smartphones, lenses would adjust and focus automatically, depending on the eye muscles' movement. Close quote. So what he's doing, this postgraduate student, is using liquid-based, crystal-based materials, is developing a synthetic replacement for the diseased lens in a person's eye. This would be a new generation of lenses and intraocular lens implants to rejuvenate sight. It was commented on in the piece. This is really good. I mean, this will really change the landscape. And apparently these liquid crystals will adapt and adjust to the eye and what it's trying to do. So what they said was, this will happen within a decade. And they're wanting to get this prototype developed by 2018. And within a decade, they said the research could see the new lens being implanted into eyes in a quick, straightforward surgical procedure under local anesthetic. And what the surgeon would do would make an incision in the cornea of the eye and then use ultrasound to break down the old lens. The liquid crystal lens would then be inserted into the eye and would restore the person's clear, sharp vision. This could be one approach to dealing with the issue of cataracts, which is the clouding of natural lenses, which affect many people, many, probably more than a few people listening and watching the show later in life, and can seriously affect a person's vision. The common treatment is to remove and replace the natural lens. So this is quite revolutionary. 877-897-8255. Dr. Christopher Moore will be along, and in the second portion of the show. Of course, I would tell you that everything about this show is on demand. The video is on demand. The audio is on demand. You can visit letstalknutrition.com, and you can watch and listen to the show there. But, of course, you have your local radio station, your radio, and many people do that. But when you're away from your radio, in your car, whatever, you have your other devices that will get you tuned into the show as well. But support your local radio station always, and your local health stores. Very important. Those are real connections for the consumer, for you, for me, to get information, to become informed, to learn, and to stay connected. Radio's been around a long time. It's going to be here for a lot longer. The holidays are going to be coming along here, and I'll be devoting some time and attention, as I do every year, and I have done for the past 10 years, to the holiday season. And believe you me, it is a difficult, while a joyous time, it can be a very difficult time, as I talk about in different kinds of ways, and I will as we move closer to the holiday season. We just went, Halloween will soon be upon us, and then some see that as the beginning of the holiday season. Some see Thanksgiving as marking the beginning of the holiday season, whatever. It's a long stretch. And as fate would have it, cold and flu season occur simultaneously with the holiday season. And there are all kinds of things that people engage in during the holiday season that get them more stressed, from the shopping to not enough sleep, to traveling, to health issues, to family issues. Things get more intensified and magnified. One piece of recommended advice is to keep moving during the holiday season. Keep moving. Try to stay, if you exercise regularly, don't abandon it. Don't abandon your program. Stick with it. You'll find that it's one of the best stress relievers of all time, as you already probably know. And the temptation and I don't know why people do this. They say, well, when I stop exercising during the holidays. Why? Well, I'm too busy. Well, you know what? Even if you just do half of what you normally do, that's better than nothing at all. And I'm a big fan of, especially during the holiday season, to try to keep your exercise regimen together. And maybe, and it's a bad time, by the way, to try and lose weight. I don't recommend it. It's probably one of the worst times of year, given the food, right? And the temptation. So maybe you wait until, make it a resolution for the new year and then start. But keep moving during this holiday season. I'll talk more about that. And I'll share with you how your diet, lifestyle, and supplementation can help energize your effort and your body. We'll be back with Dr. Moore.
Statements made during this broadcast regarding products or the claims made about specific products have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation for when you don't. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Monday edition of Let's Talk Nutrition. I am very glad that you could tune in today. I'm with you Monday through Friday for a couple of hours. The show airs live 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Come November 1st, I believe, we fall back to the other, regular time. But for now, it's still EDT. But 9 to 11 every day, Monday through Friday, weekdays. And, of course, the shows are on demand at letstalknutrition.com. The videos are right on the homepage of LTN. And then the audio you'll find under a link. And the link is called Show Schedule. A lot of people do that. And, of course, my articles are there as well. Dr. Moore is supposed to be along. We're trying to track him down. Don't know where he is. We'll see if we can find him and get him on. And I was reporting on in the first portion of the show, if you missed it, I was reporting on a study taking a look at weight discrimination and how it turns out that people who are overweight or obese, if they are discriminated against because of their weight issue, they have I'm not making this up, they have an increased risk for mortality. And the data for the study are pretty darn good. They come from two. And you can look these up. One study it's a longitudinal study that started in 1992. They took data from that set. It's called the Health and Retirement Study. It was at the University of Michigan. And there's another one called Midlife in the United States. It's the famous acronym is MIDAS. It's the MIDAS study that started in 95. And they collected data from both of those big data sets, and the findings were the same from both data sets. So that really impressed me. And when I first read it, I had to think about it for a second. Okay, discriminated against because of your weight, it increases your risk for early death to the extent that accounting for other factors that could explain a greater risk for mortality, the researchers in the study from Florida State University discovered that people who reported weight discrimination in their life had a 60%, a 6 in 10 greater chance, 6 in 10 greater chance of dying over the follow-up period of the study. Remember, these are longitudinal studies, so this happens over a number of years. Man, that's stunning to me. Never mind the effect of being overweight or obese on your physical health. Now, and your psycho-emotional health, it affects your mortality. And then I reported on a study where they found that if you reward people for learning something, a task or information, if you give them a reward, that reinforces the learning. They also found, though, that if you had them take a nap, get some sleep and rest after they engage in the task, do the learning, and give them the reward, it's even more, the learning is even stronger and more pronounced, both in the short term and in the long term. And I suspect that, and there are studies to show that and I reported on one, I think it was a few weeks back, where taking a nap helped the people to learn and remember better. And I've done that as a routine over all these many years. I still do it. We have where you're studying for 2, 3, 4 hours, then you take a brief nap, 10 minutes or whatever, 15, and then that seems to reinforce the learning. Been doing that since my whole life. It just turns out that I can report on it now. And I was told a story about the nuns. The nuns used to do that all the time with us. It was especially in the afternoons when we were just kids, grade school. Put your head down, take a nap. It was after a learning session, trying to learn or learn to read, learn whatever it was they were teaching us, and then we'd have to take a little nap. They didn't realize what they were doing, but it's reinforcing the learning. And then I reported on a story talking about this postgraduate student at in the School of Physics and Astronomy at the University of Leeds is working with liquid crystal to develop a lens that they will use as an implant. We're showing you a photo of that liquid crystal on your screen if you're watching the show. And they will implant that into a person's eye. They will remove the. I explained the procedure. What the surgeon will do. He makes an incision in the cornea. He uses ultrasound then to break down the old lens in the eye, then inserts the crystal lens, and it restores the person's vision. They say that this may be on the market within 10 years. Probably sooner than that, within a decade. If some big company gets onto this and really wants to support this, they could speed along, accelerate the research and get this done, and it'll get onto the market sooner. This could change the landscape. It could put, as they said in the headline of the study, this could put an end the end is in sight for reading glasses. 877-897 8255 877-897-TALK. On the show, the demographics for the show, it's an interesting demographic for this show. It ranges, the primary demographic is women 25 to 55, but we have a lot of men that listen to the show, and we have a lot of people beyond age 55 that listen to the show. And we have young people, too. And there's different types of professionals that listen to the show. I mean, it's an interesting demographic. We have a nice audience demographic. The one thing that's common, that we share many things in common, all of us. I don't care what part of the world you're in or whatever who you are. There's many things we share. And one of the things that all humans share, all life forms share, is aging. And I talk a lot about it on this show because it's something that affects every single person. And how well we age is an issue. Now, when young people young people don't think too much about that, as we all know from our own experience when we were a little younger. We thought we would never be there, right? And somebody who was 30 or 40 years old looked ancient to us as children. Well, here we are now finding ourselves being viewed by children in the way that we viewed them, older people back then. So aging is about everyone. Turns out, and I've commented on this many times, I've written about it, I've given talks on it, I've discussed this on the show at length. How you think about the aging process, your disposition about it, the way you think about it is going to affect how you age. And what you know about the process will affect how you age. So I came across a story. It was on Fox News on their website. It was in the Wall Street Journal. It was published in the Wall Street Journal, but Fox was reporting on it. So I'm giving attribution to two sources here. And the headline on the story was, to age well, you need to change how you think and feel about aging. Come back. We'll talk some more about this. This is very compelling. This is a case where the way, this connection between mind and body, our thoughts and our behavior. The way we behave affects our thoughts affect our behavior. Turns out our thoughts can affect the aging process itself, how we think about aging. And some people can have an unhealthy view of aging. And I'll explain what I mean by that, an unhealthy view of it. Come back, we'll talk some more about this.
Energy, energy, and more energy. Everyone needs it. But did you know you can get the energy you need quick through the powers of wild forest extracts? Wild chaga and birch bark were a secret source of energy and power for Russian athletes years ago, making them unbeatable. Now you too can experience real energy and power like you've never dreamed possible. Wild chaga is the world's top source of SOD, superoxide dismutase, that critical enzyme that blocks the aging process and keeps your cells healthy. Wild birch extract is the world's top source of betulin, a natural sterol needed by every cell of the body. And healthy cells mean a healthy you, and a more powerful one too. Chaga birch bark is also good for your heart, healthy cholesterol, and even helps build healthy arteries. No wonder it's known as the king of all herbs. So take your Chaga Charge tea with wild birch bark every day and Chaga Max capsules from North American Herb and Spice and get that maximum energy you need. Also available in liquid as Chago Power Drops. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At Nordic Naturals, we know that a commitment to deliver the world's safest, most effective omega oils requires an exceptional process. That's why we manage every step of production, from boat to bottle. That includes sustainably sourcing wild-caught fish from well-managed fisheries. It means using state-of-the-art equipment and technology at our manufacturing plant in Arctic Norway. Nordic Naturals bottles and encapsulates our omega-3s at our own facility and carefully ships products from our eco-friendly headquarters in California. The result? Nordic Naturals products have received more than 40 awards for taste, innovation, and product excellence. You can trust the quality of Nordic Naturals products and know you're getting all the health benefits omega-3 fish oils offer. Nordic Naturals' high-quality, great-tasting omega-3s make staying healthy easier for you and your family. When choosing an omega-3 fish oil product, choose the #1 fish oil in the U.S. Choose Nordic Naturals. Available at natural product retailers or online at nordicnaturals.com.
When you're passionate about your health, that passion leads to the knowledge that exercise and a healthy diet are not always enough. Sometimes you need the extra nutritional boost that only supplements can provide. If you are looking for the leading national brands of vitamins, supplements, health and beauty, weight loss, or sports nutrition products, look no further than Vitamin Discount Center. Voted best independent chain by Vitamin Retailer Magazine, Vitamin Discount Center has been a trusted and valuable nutrition resource to the Tampa Bay area for over 15 years. With daily savings up to 50%, Vitamin Discount Center offers the best prices on the highest quality nutritional supplements. Not only will you find unbeatable value, your visit includes access to a staff educated on the application of products to help equip you with the products and information you need to proactively improve your health. To locate the store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com, as well as access to articles on popular health topics, promotions, events, and thousands of products to shop from right at home. Your search for an affordable solution to better health is finally over. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Are you waking up each day to the life you have to live or to the life you want to live? Better health shouldn't be left to chance. Smart choices to living longer and stronger include making Kyolic aged garlic extract a part of your daily routine. For years, medical researchers have recommended adding Kyolic to the diet as a powerful tool to enhancing overall heart and immune health. Recent clinical studies at UCLA Medical Center using Kyolic suggest that garlic may slow plaque formation in the arteries and support healthy cholesterol and homocysteine levels. Previous research also shows Kyolic may enhance your immune system defenses. Kyolic is organic, odorless, and the only antioxidant garlic supplement available worldwide. Maintaining a healthier you could extend your life. Your wellness begins with Kyolic aged garlic extract. Available everywhere fine nutritional supplements are sold. Visit Kyolic.com. That's KYOLIC.com. Or call 1-800-421-2998 for a free sample today.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by A. Vogel, Europe's leading brand of herbal medicine. Canavest, from seed to shelf. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. Now introducing Zinnia for healthy hair, skin, and nails. Nature's Dynamics, garden to gummy supplements made by Dad. Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless. NeoCell, the true science of collagen. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening and whatever you may be doing. 877-897-8255. So I was talking about aging, and there's a story that's trending this morning talking about how people age, how well they age is intimately connected to how they think and feel about aging. This is interesting. They report that scientists are discovering that this actually is the case. There's now data to support this. How we feel about aging, getting older, how we feel about getting older really does make a difference. In fact, they said it makes a lot of difference. And we're showing you that story if you're watching. In test after test, they said investigators are discovering that if we think about getting older as a process of decline, disability, death, that's not a good idea. It seems to affect the aging process in a negative way. And there are a lot of stereotypes that exist about aging. Some of these stereotypes are rather negative. That getting old is a bad thing, that getting old is makes you unable to do, this or that, or it's sort of all the different stereotypes. And there is such a thing as ageism. Speaking of discrimination earlier, there is ageism. People are discriminated against because of their age in so many different ways. That's a whole nother show. Nevertheless, psychologists and neuroscientists, they said, are identifying strategies that people can use in their own minds to create a better sense and a better attitude and vision about aging that will benefit their health and well-being and wellness, they said. So there's a study, relatively recent study out of Yale School of Public Health, and what they found in that study was that older people who were subliminally exposed, in other words, out of their awareness, to positive messages about aging, they showed long-term improvements in their self-image, in their strength and balance, and so on. They weren't even aware that they were being subjected to these images. Now, there are other studies that show that it's possible to achieve similar results with tactics that psychologists and these therapists and educators use to treat depression and combat race and gender bias and break people of harmful habits such as smoking. So they're making headway here in trying to, in other words, they're treating the aging process as if it were like other kinds of health issues and social issues. And one of the researchers from the Yale study said what people aren't aware of is that they have the ability to overcome and resist negative stereotypes and compensate for the ill effects of automatic ageism. Now, there's probably some people listening to this show and watching the show that have experienced ageism, being discriminated against because of your age. It would be interesting to hear. I don't know if people would be inclined to want to share that call, but I would like to hear how or in what ways that may have happened to you. Because, if somebody perceived you to be a little deeper into the life cycle, in other words, they saw you as and forgive me, old person. somehow you were treated differently and not very well. And some people may not understand that this idea of ageism really exists, and they may not even give one whit of thought about it because they're not there yet. So if it has happened to you, I would love to hear how maybe you were discriminated against because of your age. It happens in any number of ways. I don't want to suggest anything. I would rather people call and tell me their story if you're so inclined. 877-897-8255. So I was in Starbucks the other day, and I saw a woman. She was pregnant, and she was pretty well along, and ordered a venti. That's 20 ounces of coffee. That's a big drink. And, I've talked about this before on the show, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, gee, I don't know. Because whatever the mom is going to eat, drink, or experience, that her child that's inside of her, the fetus, is going to experience the same thing. Well, there's a story that's trending talking about pregnancy and alcohol. Come back, I'll tell you about it. And what some investigators, the strong stance they're taking on this prenatal alcohol exposure. There is such a thing as fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, and they're pretty prevalent. And the child is born with this disorder because the mom drank during pregnancy. It sort of gives you a hint as to what some of these investigators think about drinking during pregnancy. 877-897-8255. Come back. We'll talk some more. Again, if you feel you've ever been discriminated against because of your age, if you're so inclined, please call the show. I'd like to hear what your story is.
Looking for the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace for healthy sleep naturally.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Garden of Life, empowering extraordinary health. Country Life, a leader and authority in natural health and nutrition. Enzymedica, the enzyme experts. Natural Factors, where great health begins. Now Foods, our products work. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Well, apparently, there's some researchers that are saying, a new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics, they're saying absolutely no drinking during pregnancy. None. Zero. Don't do it. All forms of alcohol, according to this report, including beer, wine, and liquor, pose a similar risk, they said in the report, to the developing fetus. This is according to the report from the nation's largest group of pediatricians. This is the American Academy of Pediatrics. So you got to pay some attention to this. Now, there are studies that will suggest that most women cut out alcohol completely when they are expecting. But a small percentage of mothers do admit when they're interviewed that they continue to consume alcohol during the pregnancy, and there's a smaller number of women who even engage in binge drinking while they're pregnant. Women who engage in binge drinking, by the way, when they're not pregnant, are more likely to consume alcohol during pregnancy, they said in the report. And one of the reasons why they issued the report is because these doctors are concerned about what's called fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. And even that using low levels of alcohol may not be. They interpreted what they did in the studies, not to make this too complicated, that some of the research has suggested that lower levels of alcohol use might be safe during pregnancy, said Dr. Janet F. Williams. But the pediatricians group that wrote this report doesn't agree. And they say that there's more evidence pointing to alcohol dangers in pregnancy than not, and not to do it. So if you're pregnant, I don't know, you might want to think that through a little bit. The mother eats and drinks, the baby eats and drinks. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Daniel, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. It's great to have you on. Thanks for calling today.
Hi, Doc. Good to hear you.
It's good. I'm glad you called. You wanted to talk about age discrimination. I'm glad you decided to call.
Well, I did. But first, I need to know if I qualify as as someone who should be looking for that. I just turned 65.
Absolutely. And are you kidding? In this youth-oriented culture, you're old as dirt, buddy.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Because
I hate to tell you what they say about me, but go ahead.
yeah. I think you may have a year or two on me. I'm not sure, but anyways, I don't. My problem is I do not feel my age anywhere close to my age. I don't feel it. I have incredible amount of energy, strength, vitality. I have zero pain, thank God. But it's. I did want to give you a story that I thought reflected a little bit of ageism at the time. My buddy and I, a friend that I grew up with, I'm 65, he's 64. Every Saturday here in the Tampa Bay area, regardless of the time of year, it could be July, it could be January, every Saturday we go to the beach and we spend, first of all, we spend a couple hours on the beach running and jumping and throwing frisbee and playing catch and talking to folks and having a great time.
Right.
And then afterwards, we retired to one of the local beach tiki bars, where we get an eyeful of all the young folks walking around, and where we go, I want to tell you that the eye candy is beautiful and amazing.
Sure, both young women and young men. I mean, they're young, their bodies are tight and vibrant and healthy. I mean, it's just I understand that. I get that.
and they're showing it off, and it's just a beautiful thing on the Florida Gulf Coast. Well, the other day we were sitting at a picnic table on at one of the tiki bars and enjoying the view, and the security guard came up and he looked us over and he said, "Hey guys, I need to see and we had just ordered some drinks, and he said, I need to see your ID." And I'm thinking, wow, really? And so he looked at our ID, and then he winked and smiled and handed it back and said, "Don't you think you guys are a little too old for this?"
Are you serious? Are you serious? How old was the guard?
He was probably, he was a portly 40-something, but he was just teasing us.
Oh,
okay?
I see. He was teasing. Okay.
It was in good humor, but we did stick out a little bit, I think, because
got these two quote unquote old guys at the beach, right?
Yeah, and we're definitely taking in the sights, and it's really good for the range of motion in your neck because you're constantly.
You better watch you don't get whiplash, buddy.
Well, yeah, we came close. But,
well, you know something, Daniel? Your comment is interesting. Maybe I don't know what was on his mind. He went as far as to ask you for your ID. I don't know what he was. I have no clue. Maybe he thought that you were. I don't know what he was thinking. Who knows? But
yeah,
I find being around young people. When I say young people, 20s, and so when I go to the gym, I work out 5 days a week, and believe me, it's a rigorous workout, and I train. I used to have a training partner but I train mostly by myself. I see a range of ages in that gym, from teenagers all the way up to people in their 80s, and I find inspiration from everybody watching people, and that's one of the reasons I could train at home. I could build a gym and do all that. I prefer to go to a nice gym that where I can do my training every day, a couple hours a day. But having the contact with other people, especially young people. As a professor, I always enjoyed teaching because I love teaching, but I enjoyed the interaction with young people, the vibrancy, the hopefulness, the youth of thought, all of that is to me very inspiring and motivating, and I look to that all the time, and it's odd, Daniel. I have many people come up to me and say, "Gosh, I wish I could be in shape like you," and then they'll say they don't mean any harm. When I get as old as you, and I take it and I say, "Well, it's going to happen, buddy." So. Yeah, you're not. It's your chronological age versus your biological age, Daniel. You said you feel great, don't you?
Oh, I feel tremendous. My mobility, my strength, my balance, my endurance, and lack of pain in my joints and muscles is just such a wonderful thing that at my age now, every day I get up and I celebrate.
Good for you.
What I have and what I enjoy.
Oh man.
Because it's just such a blessing. But I do owe it all to the fact that I pay attention to you and diet. I listen, and I've modified my diet over the years. I've become better with that. And of course, as a physical therapist, I know how to exercise properly.
Well, this is a great call. When we come back, I'll comment on it, and I'll have the LTN health question of the day. I love that call.
Feel tired, lethargic, or irritable? Take solace. You're one of millions of Americans that has trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. In fact, according to a national survey, 54% of adults have trouble sleeping. So what can you do about it? Take Solace. Solace is an all-natural dietary supplement formulated to support healthy sleep and relaxation. Solace can help you fall asleep and stay asleep naturally. Formulated with all-natural ingredients, Solace is non-addictive and won't leave you feeling groggy in the morning. Take Solace an hour before bed and feel the calming effects of this extensively researched sleep and relaxation aid. For more information on Solace, call toll-free 877-533-7066 or visit TakeSolace.com. That's 877-533-7066 or take SOLUS.com. Look for Solace in your local health and nutrition store. Solace for a good night's rest naturally.
Coenzyme Q10 is a powerful antioxidant nutrient. It protects against free radical damage, supports heart function, energy production, and immune response. Aging reduces our ability to absorb CoQ10 from our diet, so supplementing with a highly absorbable form of CoQ10 is the first step to ensuring optimal levels in the body. Secondly, typical CoQ10 supplements are in a ubiquinone or non-reduced form. For the body to use that type of CoQ10, it must first convert it to ubiquinol or the reduced form. QH Absorb is Jarrow Formula's highly absorbable and bioavailable CoQ10 supplement. Not only is QH Absorb more absorbable than traditional CoQ10 supplements, but as ubiquinol, it's already in a reduced bioavailable form. Your body can use QH Absorb without having to do any conversion work. Ask specifically for Jarrow Formula's QH Absorb at your favorite vitamin retailer. For more information on QH Absorb, go to jarrow.com. That's JARROW for the best and highly absorbable bioavailable CoQ10 supplements.
Hi, I'm Kate. I try to eat a healthy diet, but the irony of eating healthy foods, like broccoli or beans, is that even though they're healthy for us, they can still cause occasional digestive upsets. That's why I take a Digest Smart high-potency enzyme with every meal. Digest Smart is from Renew Life, the digestive care experts. It's the first digestive enzyme certified by Izyme, the International Enzyme Testing Program. Each capsule provides a full spectrum of 25 powerful plant-based raw enzymes to break down each major food group, including carbs, fats, proteins, and fiber. Digest Smart enzymes also feature targeted delivery capsules to reach your intestines, where 90% of digestion occurs. Digest Smart promotes more complete breakdown of the foods you eat and optimizes nutrient availability. Plus, it helps ease digestive upsets and supports your overall digestive health. Now that's really smart. Digest Smart is from the makers of Ultimate Flora Probiotics, and both are available in health food stores everywhere.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Murray with a minute of important health news. One of my all-time favorite natural products is a special extract of licorice known as DGL. DGL is short for deglycyrrhizated licorice, but I tell my patients that it stands for darn good licorice. DGL is made by removing the compound in licorice that can raise blood pressure in some people. Double-blind clinical studies have shown DGL is quite useful in healing stomach and intestinal ulcers. In fact, in head-to-head studies, it has actually outperformed popular anti-ulcer drugs. But rather than inhibit the release of stomach acid, DGL stimulates the normal defense mechanisms that prevent ulcer formation and promote healing. Clinical studies have not only shown DGL to be extremely effective, but also that it is completely without side effects. Clearly, DGL is a better choice.
When you're passionate about your health, that passion leads to the knowledge that exercise and a healthy diet are not always enough. Sometimes you need the extra nutritional boost that only supplements can provide. If you are looking for the leading national brands of vitamins, supplements, health and beauty, weight loss, or sports nutrition products, look no further than Vitamin Discount Center. Voted best independent chain by Vitamin Retailer Magazine, Vitamin Discount Center has been a trusted and valuable nutrition resource to the Tampa Bay area for over 15 years. With daily savings up to 50%, Vitamin Discount Center offers the best prices on the highest quality nutritional supplements. Not only will you find unbeatable value, your visit includes access to a staff educated on the application of products to help equip you with the products and information you need to proactively improve your health. To locate the store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com, as well as access to articles on popular health topics, promotions, events, and thousands of products to shop from right at home. Your search for an affordable solution to better health is finally over. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Nordic Naturals, pure and great tasting omega oils. North American Herb and Spice, the only oregano oil you can take on a daily basis. Renew Life, the digestive care company. Nutrix Hawaii, more nutrition, better health, purely Hawaiian. Let's Talk Nutrition, on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Here's the LTN health question of the day. I'm making fun of my producer. I said, he looks like a condominium. Compared to him, I look like a tiki hut. And the guy's huge. He's laughing. Here's Here's the LTN health question of the day. Josh, he's the producer that does the streaming. Steven, you hear me talk to all the time, controls the board. He makes sure that we stay on the air and get you on the air and so on. He keeps it all organized for us. We appreciate that, Steven. So I was reporting on a study, and I was talking about weight discrimination earlier in the show today. And this study came out of the Florida State, out of FSU, Florida State University. And they found that weight discrimination was linked to an increased risk of mortality, believe it or not. And these were 2 longitudinal studies from which they took the data. So it was over a long period of time. So they had a chance to take a real long look at this. Here's the question. What was the percent or the greater chance? What was the increase due to discrimination causing mortality, early mortality? Was it a 2 in 10 chance, or 20%, 4 in 10 chance, or 6 in 10 chance? In other words, what was the greater chance of dying over the period of the study, this follow-up period? Did people have a 20% greater chance of dying, a 40% greater chance of dying, or a 60% a greater chance of dying because they were discriminated against because of their weight? 877-897-8255. 877-897-TALK. If you have the right answer, you'll win a $25 supplement gift card. That call we had from Daniel. Daniel is a physical therapist. I thought I recognized Daniel's voice. He's called the show before. I recall meeting, I think I met Daniel. And I think he does physical therapy, home therapy, travels from home to home. And he's been a long-time listener of the show, and he's in good shape. And he's in his 60s, and he was here at the beach with his buddy who's a year younger than he. I think Daniel's 65, his buddy was 64, something like that. And a security guard came up to him, asked him to see their ID, wondered what they were doing there at the beach. All those young people there, I don't know what they thought, but nevertheless, we were talking about ageism and how it affects, people's lives. And here, that's a form of discrimination, too. People being discriminated against because of their age. You can also be discriminated against because of your weight, as relative to the health question of the day. And the question is this. People who were discriminated, who reported weight discrimination, had what? A 20% greater chance of dying sooner rather than later, a 40% chance, or a 60% greater chance of dying sooner rather than later? I can tell you, here's a hint. The impact of the discrimination was stunning. 877-897-8255. 877-897-TALK. So we covered quite a few stories today. Dr. Moore, for some reason or another, didn't make it. That's okay. We're always prepared. And to go back to a point I was making earlier about how you think about aging, and I firmly believe this. This is not just an opinion. This is something that I've looked at, I've studied it, I've read about it, and I've actually, my own personal experience. I've lived this. And how you think about the process does make a difference. How you think about anything makes a difference on how you relate to that thing, person, or event, process, whatever. And how do you separate your thoughts from your actions from your thoughts? They're intertwined. We know this. This is not a revelation. And you have to develop a healthy attitude about aging, to think optimistically. Now, it's pretty darn hard to do that when you're sick. And maybe when you're sick and not so old even, or not so deep into the lifespan. And, listening to Daniel in that last call, you could hear the optimism. He was grateful. And by the way, they talk about gratitude as being very important in our life and our health, being grateful. And you could hear it. He mentioned it. He said, I'm so grateful. that I can get up every day. I have no pain. I feel I have a lot of energy. I can live my life, do my profession. He's a physical therapist. He continues to work. Yeah, that's called quality of life. But he's optimistic about the aging process. And it's a little easier when you're experiencing that. When you're sick and ridden with a lot of morbidity, a lot of illness, it's pretty darn hard then to do that. And so on this show, you know, you can tell I'm very optimistic about that process. You have to be. And I don't, and some of my colleagues, some of my fellow colleagues in this business define aging as a disease process. I don't see it that way. And I'm not the only one. I don't think it's inherently a disease process. I think it is a process that certainly our systems of our body get compromised and we're not able to repair as quickly. We don't respond as well to stress and strain and injuries and whatnot. That's true. But that's not disease. And I've talked about this many times on the show before, but I want to go to Tuscaloosa and talk to Lily. And Lily, I want to give you a hint about the answer. It's more than what you think it is, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, in this... 50%. That's right. People who were discriminated against because of their weight had a 60% greater chance of dying during the follow-up period of the study. It was a longitudinal study, so they did it over many years. And people in that study had a 60% greater chance of dying in the follow-up period for the study. I mean, that's remarkable. You know, as I said, discrimination takes many forms. It's not just weight, it's race, ethnicity, all sorts of things, disability. So we should be kinder to one another and always remember, you know, discrimination leads no place good. But Lily, thank you so much for listening to the show, and congratulations on winning a $25 supplement gift card.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for listening. Be optimistic and think well and think positively about your age. Why? Because your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you.
At Country Life.